Hi, Peter Ordway here from Ordway Science Supply, and I want to show you the setup that I do on the DTF Station printer. This is something I would do just in the beginning of the day to start the machine. So first thing I'm going to do is turn on the printer, and I'm going to turn on my computer. I have a laptop in the back here to run the RIP software. And then on the side here there's a button that does a recirculation. So I'm going to push the recirculation button and just let it run. While it's running, I'm going to go ahead and back up the film to get it ready to print. On the back here, there's a button for the unwind for the film, and it's on the up position or the 1 position. I'm going to put it back down to the 2 position, and it may or may not start to rewind, but it's going to stop because the pinch rollers are in the down position, so it's not going to go anywhere currently. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the bar out of the shaker, and I'm going to lift up the pinch rollers in order to release the film, and it'll start rewinding automatically. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to wipe off the excess powder off the film as it comes through. So I'm going to lift up the lever. If it doesn't start to rewind automatically, if you pull out on it a little bit, that'll bring the bar up behind there in order to actuate the sensor, and then it'll start rewinding. So I'm going to just wipe just to get the excess powder off, and I can print on the film and not have to have any excess or waste. Every now and then I can tap it just to bounce a little bit of excess powder off, but a little bit left over is not going to make that much difference. You can hear the motor stopped on the recirculation of the white, so that's finished. Now, when I get to the end here, if I release the tension on it like that, it brings the roller bar down and stops the backwards progress. I can go back around now and press it, and they switch to the 1 or up position, and now it'll feed out rather than feeding back. So next thing I'm going to do is bleed out the white head. So I'm going to go to Menu, Head Maintain, and hit Enter. I'm going to go down to Fill Ink and hit Enter. And I only need to do the white head, which white is the right head. So I'm going to go down to right head and hit Enter. Now you can see at the bottom here the white will be coming out. After the white starts to come out, I might count to about 10, and that should be enough to drain the ink and the fluid that we put in the cap when we stopped the printing last night. So maybe about 10 seconds or so. And then we hit the cancel button. Now we can hit the menu button to go back to our main menu, and we can hit cleaning, and that's just going to do our normal cleaning. So while it's doing its cleaning, I can go ahead and set up our leader sheet. And I always want the leader to go to the bottom of the roll, not at the top. If it's on the top, as it winds up, it can sometimes hit the fan unit. So I'm going to put it in with the leading edge towards the bottom, and then you can wind up a whole bunch of material and not hit the fan. So I'm going to go underneath the bar there. I'm going to come up, bring it through the shaker. And then I'm going to put a clamp on it to hold it. Then I can take a piece of tape, my double-sided tape, and put it across and get that ready. Okay, so the cleaning is done. I'm going to do one more cleaning. So I'll hit the cleaning button, and then while that's doing its thing, we can take this off. I'm gonna rewind the film a little bit. I'm gonna put the clamps down first, so it doesn't go all the way back. But the reason I'm doing that is to put tension on the film and have the so when we start to print, if we don't have any tension on the film and then the feeder actuates, sometimes you'll get a little bit of difference between the white and the colored head. and the white head might not line up properly with the colored head. So if you have the same tension as it is in the entire print, then the white head and the colored head should line up properly from the beginning. Okay, so that's done doing its cleaning. I'm going to make sure that the material is fairly straight. I'll back it up just a little bit. When we do our test print, we want the leading edge of the film to be beyond the first row of the vacuum nozzles. So we'll hit nozzle check, and it's going to print to make sure all the nozzles are firing. Okay, looks good. All the nozzles are firing. You see a good white pattern and a good color pattern. So that's what we were looking for. So now we can lift up the pinch rollers and we can pull this out. Now since we put it on the one position, when we pull it out, it's going to feed material as we need it. So I'm going to pull it out just enough to go over the top of our double-sided tape and tape it on. Then we can take the clamp off. We can put this down. We'll turn on our filter. I'm going to give it a little bit of slack so we can put our roller back in. And we can lower the pinch rollers again. Now I'm going to rewind it again to bring it back to the beginning, so we're going to start our print. And I think I'm going to go a little bit further back. Give this a little more slack. And I'm going to make sure it's tight in the rear, so that we have the same amount of tension when we start our print. Okay, now I can forward it a little bit. Now when we go to print, there's the 1, 2, 3 rows of nozzles for the vacuum. As long as we're past the third one, then it's not going to print on top of our test print. Other thing we need to do is put the powder in the shaker. So there's a little bit of powder left over from last night. I'll dump that back in. One suggestion that I do is to filter the powder, and that gets any lumps or any debris or anything out of it, and it's just like a spaghetti strainer. And I'll just sift it just to make sure there's nothing that's going to get into the back of our prints. That one was pretty clean. There's a couple little balls in there, but not too much. Every now and then you can also do the same thing on what comes out of the machine or what gets dropped into the tray below, and just to get any debris or contaminants out of it. Okay, and then I'm just going to pour a little bit more powder in. You probably don't want to go above the bar on the powder. That's more than enough. Okay, we can turn this down. Now when we start the print, I can go ahead and turn this on now, but if you're just starting to print, when you turn on the shaker, that's enough time for the shaker to heat up. By the time it gets through the powder and into the shaker, the heat will be sufficient enough to melt the powder and cure it. So, well, I'll go ahead and turn this on, and then we can send to print.